There are timestamps throughout this video that'll show you different methods for how to change your desktop folder. And today I'm going to show you 3 of those methods, starting with the easiest one, how to change your desktop folder to literally anything that you want. Okay, so for method number 1, as you can see, I have my screen up here and I have my different colored folders, which I will get to later on in the video. But if you want to change your desktop folder to any kind of image that you want, as you can see down here, my headshots one is a headshot of me. And when I open it up, it is a folder with only one item inside. It opens up just like a folder. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. What we're going to do is open up a new window. And let's say, I don't know, you want your folder to be a picture of a star. So we're going to go ahead and look up star image. And then we're going to look up specifically a star image PNG. And a PNG is a type of photo format that's basically going to remove the background automatically for you. So I'm just going to pick one of these random ones. Let's look at this. Okay, this is not quite a PNG. When you guys click on these images, you want to make sure that they have a checkered background in the back. So not like this, because before you click on it, it already has that automatic checkered background. We want to click on something that's like this, that'll bring up the checkered background after we click on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag this over to my desktop here. Wait for that to show up. There it is. Okay, I'm going to close this tab. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. I'm just going to call this, where'd that go? I'm going to call this example, or let's say we're going to call it method 1. Method 1. Okay, so boom, method 1, and it's going to fly up there. So for method number 1, I now have the folder made. What I'm going to do is right click on it and go to get info. When I do this, it's going to bring up all this information, but what it's also going to do is bring up the photo of the folder itself. So I can click on that. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to right click on my new downloaded star image. I'm going to copy it with that, and now what I'm going to do is click on the folder image in the folder settings itself, and I'm going to click paste. So it is just Command C, Command V, and now what I've done is turned this folder into a star. So as you can see, it comes up here and it is a folder. There are no items in it yet, but what I can do is I can drop and drag, let's say this folder right here, boom, and now it is going to be in method number 1. And now when I open it up, I can see that, boom, it is right there, my original folder. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag this out really quickly. But that is the easiest way to change your folder to anything that you want. All you got to do is get any image that you like. Make sure that it is a PNG, because otherwise it'll keep the entire border of the image in the background, and you guys probably don't want that. But that's how you get any image that you want. PNG. Make sure to copy it and then paste it into the folder image icon itself when you click on the get info option for that folder. Okay, so for method number 2, this is going to be the free graphic design method. And if you don't know any graphic design, don't have any experience, that is what I am for. I'm going to teach you a very simple way on how to do this. So what we're going to do, you can open up any kind of browser you want. For this one, I'm going to open up Safari, which I would normally not use. I would normally just use Chrome. And I'm going to go to this site called Pixlr.com, and they have a free version, or they have any kind of version that you'd essentially pay for, but we are obviously going to be going for the free version. I'm going to create a new project on Pixlr, and now what I'm going to do is search for a Mac desktop folder PNG. So what that's going to do is bring up the image of the original folders that you guys have already on your Mac desktop, the folders that you would normally click on, the light blue ones. And as you can see, all of mine are changed to these different colors, right? And I have already done that for myself, but this is how you guys are going to do it. You're going to go in, you're going to search for, let's see, where's the one? We want this. Okay, so I got this blue folder here. What I'm going to do is the exact same thing as method 1. I'm just going to drag and drop that there. We're going to wait for it to show up. I'm going to go back into Pixlr, close this tab, and now that this image has shown up, I'm going to go ahead and drag it onto Pixlr itself. So once I get here, it's going to ask, do I want to create the new layer as a new project, or do I just want to add it onto my current project? We're just going to go ahead and click add right here. So now that I have this, I can expand the borders to make it a bit larger. Boom, I'm going to click enter, and now it is in there. I'm going to go ahead and crop this image so that it is a square as well. So you just use the crop icon. I'm going to click apply. And now what we want to do is remove the background from this image. So what I'm going to do is go to the little scissors here. It says cutout. We need to select the actual layer itself. and I'm gonna choose this magic cutout option. So when I click the background here, most of it is gonna go away. So as you can see, not all of it, there's still like some red there at the bottom. So to get around this, what you want to do is turn the tolerance up. We're just going to go up to 50 maybe. I think that should do it. Okay, not quite. Let's try 65. And let's click down here. Okay, so 65 works. But depending on the image, you might not even have to do this at all. It could just be like a white background JPEG image that you find. If it is a PNG, then you're even in more luck, because you won't have to do that at all, because the image will already be a transparent background for you. So we have our image of a folder right here. I'm going to make this a tiny bit smaller just so you guys can see the borders and kind of what I'm doing properly. I'm going to make this a little bit larger too. Okay, so now that we have this image nice and cut out, we are going to go ahead and duplicate this image by clicking the duplicate layer button down here. And I just got there by right clicking on the image on the right side itself. So now that we have duplicated this image, what we're going to do is it is split now into 2 layers. So for this bottom layer, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this top layer. And you do that by just clicking the eye icon right here. So now that it is hidden, but you can't really tell just because it's the same image. But I'm going to go to this bottom layer here. I'm going to go down to Effect, and I'm going to click on Black and White. And what this is going to do is make it so that it's easier for my image to change color when I do edit this top layer, and you'll kind of see what I mean after. But I'm going to go ahead and click Apply because this looks fine. This is black and white, and it gives you different black and white options, of course, but we're just going to go with the basic one. I'm going to turn back on this top layer now, and now what I can do is take this top layer, and what I'm going to do is come over here to the Draw button. I'm going to go ahead and go to Color. I'm going to select any color that I want. So let's say I want a green folder, for example. I want a nice green. We're going to go right here all the way to the side, and I'm going to up my size on my brush. So as you can see, as I go a lot larger, the brush becomes a lot larger. I'm going to, we're going to keep the softness all the way down just so that I'll show you guys the difference later on. But for just the sake of this example and it going fast, I'm going to keep this. What I'm going to do is color right over this top image. When I let go, what you can see happens is the entire image becomes green, and it only does the borders of that image. So what I'm going to do now is come over here to the right side again. I'm going to click right click it, and then I'm going to go to blend mode, and I'm going to go down to multiply. When I click on multiply, it blends it into the bottom layer, the black and white bottom layer folder. So now that I have that, I have a nice green folder. So you can experiment with this. You can go lighter with the green, and you can just color over that top layer again, and it will not remember that dark color that was there before. And you can do this with, let's say I want it to be like a hot pink color. I'm going to, boom, have it there. If I want it to be, you know, like yellow or something, I'm going to come and color it yellow. So there's a lot of different ways you can sort of experiment with this. But what's fun and what makes it sort of interesting is that you can, you know, draw on it too, kind of whatever you want. So if I lower this down, and then let's say I wanted to up the softness a little bit, give it some sort of like stripe. Oh, maybe I do make this a little bit larger. And I come here, I can go ahead and sort of blend the bottom like this. And now I have like a stripe color thing going on the bottom that's like a dark blue. And let's say I want it to be like half of the folder. Boom. So now I have a multicolored folder just from a couple of clicks. And it's very simple. You can draw whatever you want. Like, let's say I wanted to be a happy face. Boom, got that right there. And then I can just save the folder. So that is method number 2. And to save it, all you're going to do is click the save button. We are going to go ahead and make sure that it is still a PNG. We're just going to name this 0 so that it comes up to the top of my desktop. And once it is in the downloads, I'm going to go ahead and just drag that right over here. Boom, and then 0 comes to the top. So then just like before, what you can do is we're going to just use method 1 again. Oh, you know what? We'll make a new folder. We're going to make a new folder. We're going to call it method 2. Go to method 2, get info, and then the same exact thing. We're going to copy this. Boom. We are going to paste this. Boom. And now we have method number 2 right there. So as you can see, it is a little bit smaller than these 2 folders, and that is only because I cropped it a little bit just for the border's sake, so that you guys could sort of see what was going on without it being a little bit too big. But what you can always do is just select these 2 layers by shift and then clicking them both. You can make it a little bit larger like this, so that way you get the correct dimensions of your folder correctly. Okay, and for the last method, this is only for those that have Photoshop. And again, if you're not very experienced in Photoshop, but you still have the application, I will do my best to help you guys out with how to use it for this third method. So what we're gonna do is open up Photoshop. And once you have it opened up, you're just gonna make a new project, which is pretty simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut until we get there. All right, so once you are in Photoshop and you have a new project made, what you're going to do is the exact same thing to start off with method 2. You're going to go into any kind of browser, look up the blue icon folder for the Mac desktop, and we already have ours here for method 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag this onto Photoshop. So I can go ahead and adjust the size really quickly. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so that we don't have any problems like last time. Let's see. Make it like this. And okay, I'm gonna click enter. So once you have your folder size the way you want it, what we're gonna do is rasterize the layer first, so that way we are able to delete the background. So we're gonna come here, we're gonna go ahead and click on, well, maybe we have to make it a smart object first. Is that right? Oh, no, we can rasterize the layer. So we're gonna go ahead and rasterize it, and this basically just makes it so that we can do any kind of destructive editing that we want. So if I tried to use a magic wand on it earlier, it's not gonna work. You have to rasterize the image because otherwise it thinks that you wanna just edit the image as is. We're going to go ahead and click on the background, and it's going to select the borders around the folder and from the red background as well. It looks like it's getting a little bit of this bottom portion here, but let's see. So if I go ahead and delete it, it will delete, yeah, not all of it. So let's go ahead and up the tolerance to about 80. And this is the exact same magic wand tool that's pretty much in any graphic design program you can find. Let's try to delete it now. It's kind of the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and roll with it. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, so now that the folder is cut out, what we're going to do is kind of the exact same process that we did for method number 2. We're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. So you can either just go here and then select duplicate layer, or you can do the shortcut key, which is Command J. So I am going to take this bottom layer here, and I'm going to go to adjustments. We are going to go down to black and white, and I am going to make this a clipping mask. So when I do that, what it means is that it's going to create a clipping mask which attaches the black and white filter onto the layer directly below it. So when I turn off this top layer, you can see the black and white filter is now a part of that bottom layer. If I turn off the bottom layer, the black and white also goes away. Now, once we have both of our layers here, there are actually 2 ways I'm going to show you that you can do this in Photoshop to change the color of your desktop folder. So for the first method, we're just going to simply go here, we're going to right click this top layer, we're going to go to blending options, and we're going to go all the way down to color overlay. So when I click on color overlay, the default's going to be red, and as you can see, it changes the entire color of the folder, which is pretty cool. And if that's what you want, then you're done. But if you wanted something else, if you want like a darker red, obviously you just go in here, change the color a bunch, some blues, right? That kind of looks like the original, I guess. Orange, brown, whatever, right? But there is a better way to do this, I think, that's going to make it a lot easier for you to sort of experiment with what you want. So we're going to go ahead and just cancel this out. If that's what you want, though, that's all good. But this is the way that I would prefer to do it. What I'm going to do here is go to the fill tool. And now that this image is cut out, what I'm going to do, let's say you want a purple folder. We're going to go ahead and click on the folder itself. We're going to go to the blend modes on here. You can either do this with the blend modes or you can do this with the drop down. We're just going to use the drop down. And then you can select any one of these various filters or multipliers for the image itself. So we are going to go, what do I like here? We're going to go with, let's go with hard light. I kind of like the vibrance of that. So we're going to choose the hard light option. As you can see, there are a few pixels down here. That's really no worry. You can just sort of go ahead in there with the eraser tool and erase it if you want. But I'm just going to kind of go through this fast just because it is a little tutorial. So you have this here. And then boom, yeah, that's pretty much all it is. You can always change the color of it too by just using the fill tool again. Just selecting the color, clicking on the image, selecting the color, clicking on the image. You can do this as many times as you want. But let's say you wanted to go back to the blending options method and then you wanted to do something besides just a solid color, what you can do is click on gradient overlay, and this is going to give you more options to sort of experiment with the fun of your folders. So as you can see here, we have like this sort of rainbow one, and then what you can do to see the background of the folder is just lower the occupancy, and that is going to change the color, or that is going to change how much you can actually see the gradient itself, but then the folder does become revealed in the background. So you can do this with a bunch of different gradients, but what we're going to do for this is make sure that this folder is black and white. Not white like that, but we're just gonna go ahead and do, let's make it a little bit gray. There we go. So now it is black and white. I guess you could always just turn off this top layer too, but we're just gonna keep it like this. Blending options, gradient overlay, and we are gonna go ahead and blend this as well, because you get an option there. You can either darken it, you can multiply it, you can do any of these ones. So we're just gonna make one that looks kind of cool. We're gonna go blues. Let's see, this looks good. Okay, and then we're gonna go to, let's see, what looks good, Okay, I don't really like that. Don't like that either. Let's try hard light again. That's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, it looks nice, right? It definitely looks nicer than like your normal basic folder. So, but then another thing that you can do is you can adjust the kind of gradient that we have. So instead of linear, if you go down to, let's say radial, it's gonna put that gradient in the center of the folder. If you go to, let's say I wanna keep it linear, but then I want a different kind of gradient, how would I call it, like separation pattern, I can go down here to stripes, and then I can adjust the scale of my stripes from the gradient and then where it comes from. So that makes it really cool to experiment with how sort of artsy you want to be. So I kind of like this. Just for the sake of the example, what we're going to do is save it. To save anything in Photoshop, we're going to go to save, and then you're going to go to, oh, I have to name it first, I guess. Let's go test. But then to export this, which is what we really want to do, we're going to go down here. We're going to click on, my phone is in the way. We're going to go to export, export as. Make sure that it is a PNG, so that's cutting out that background. We're going to export this as method 3. And we're going to put this on the desktop. So I'm going to move this to the side. Let's wait for that to show up. Here it is. Okay. We're going to go ahead and copy it. Make a new folder, and we're going to call this method 3. Oop, I did not put a space. Let's just rename that so I don't freak out about the space. Method 3, get info, and we're going to go ahead and copy our new method 3 image into the, oh, did I not cut the background? I guess I didn't cut the background. Well, when you guys want to cut the background, make sure you do that. All you have to do is turn off the background in Photoshop, which I forgot to do. Let's try that again. We're going to export. We're going to export as. So that's a good, actually, that's an example. I'm going to keep that in because that's a good example of what not to do. Make sure you guys cut out your backgrounds. We're going to go method 3 again. Slide this to the side. Okay, boom, there's method 3. And we're going to, oh, we got to make sure it's the PNG. Copy. Go into this. And, oh, get info, yeah. Okay, boom, there we go. So now we have a new super cool colored gradient folder with stripes on it, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. I might change that to all my folders now. So that is the tutorial. If you guys liked it, make sure to let me know in the comments and leave the video a like. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about the folders or anything Photoshop or graphic design related, please let me know. I will be active in the comments trying to help you guys. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed.